Because of a single movie line about brotherhood and loyalty, I ended up behind bars. I thought I'd spend the rest of my life rotting in a cell, but I unexpectedly crossed over into a parallel world. In this world, I'm a fiercely loyal mob boss. In my crew, every single one of my brothers looks completely ruthless. But with the harsh lessons from my past life, I knew damn well that if we kept going down this dark path, history would just repeat itself. By pure luck, I awakened the great director system. I realized the film industry in this world was absolute trash. The screens were filled with either talentless idols who barely trained for 2.5 years, or pretty boys with zero acting skills. So, looking at my crew of heavily tattooed, hardcore brothers, I made a decision right then and there. We were going to shoot my past life's biggest gangster blockbuster, Young and Dangerous. And I'd let my boys play themselves. Right now, inside a rundown diner, over a dozen heavily tattooed guys were gathered around a single table. Their expressions were all over the place, but they were completely glued to the script I was pitching. I spoke with deep passion, as if dragging them right back to those fiery, blood-pumping days of our youth. Some of the guys were getting completely fired up, while others actually had tears welling in their eyes. By the time I finished the story, a lot of them were still completely stunned. I looked around the room, absolutely thrilled with the reaction. I never thought I was such a damn good storyteller that I could make a room full of tough guys cry. Suddenly, one of the guys, our brother Lao San, slammed his fist on the table. With a script like this, I don't even need to think about it. This damn diner isn't making me any money anyway. Give it another 2 years, and I'll lose my bloody coffin savings. I might as well risk it all with you. Now, Lao San might look like a calm guy, but he actually had the most explosive temper out of all of us, and he was fiercely loyal. Back in the day, the original owner of this body took the fall for everything, keeping all the brothers out of jail. Because of that, Lao San had always carried a ton of guilt in his heart. Now, he finally had a chance to pay me back. As for the rest of the boys, hearing the story had them itching for action too. Look, if we were shooting some cheesy romance drama, they'd definitely suck at it. But a hardcore gangster movie? They could guarantee that nobody would do it better, because their past lives were literally the living script for this movie. So, we had our director. Obviously, that was me. But we still needed a ton of other talents. Prop masters, makeup artists, an assistant, stuff like that. And right now, I desperately needed an assistant. Everyone around me was a complete amateur. There was no way I could carry this whole production on my own. I needed an industry insider. Someone to help take the edge off the pressure. So, we posted an ad on a job recruitment app. And just to save a few bucks on the premium membership fees, over a dozen of us kept spamming the platform nonstop, typing whatever we could, just to boost our exposure. Well, hard work pays off. We actually managed to hook a graduate from a top-tier university. You have to understand, for a ragtag crew like ours to trick an elite grad into joining us? That was no easy feat. Honestly, the whole thing was a massive stroke of luck. You see, coming from Moses Academy, the second best film school in the entire country, Wu Jiajia was the absolute definition of a top-tier student. But shit happens. Unluckily for her, right when she went to get her diploma, she caught a nasty flu going around and was forced to stay stuck at home recovering for half a year. However, once she finally recovered, she realized there was one massive, messed up problem. She had completely missed the school's job fair. After being stuck at home for 1 whole year, Wu Jiajia was panicking. She desperately needed to find a stable job. Number 5. High business expectations, massive room for growth. 2. It perfectly fit Wu Jiajia's requirements. It was a startup, and though the pay wasn't great, it offered a lot of freedom. The working hours were super flexible. So, she applied for an interview. 5. The business volume, and the work was super flexible. 6. The growth potential. Plus, the company was just getting off the ground. 5. The business volume was small, so there wasn't too much on their plate. 6. Massive room for growth. It was the perfect place to get some hands-on practice. Once she gained some experience, jumping ship to another job later would be a breeze. With this exact mindset, Wu Jiajia applied for today's interview. But, the moment Wu Jiajia arrived at the interview location, a heavy feeling of dread suddenly washed over her. Isn't this a food street? Even though the place right in front of her had a sign saying Shen's Film and Television Enterprise, it looked incredibly slapped together. The glass panels on both sides of the front door even had words like stir fry and quick fry stuck on them. Was this actually a real company? Still, she was already here. Might as well take a look first, she thought. Wu Jiajia had woken up at the crack of dawn, carefully gotten dressed up, and spent a grueling 5 hours just commuting and rushing over here. If she just turned around and went home now, she'd probably lose her mind from anger. Now, this place was actually just a restaurant owned by Lao San. We had scrambled to find a sign maker overnight, got a custom signboard made, and slapped it up first thing in the morning. The private dining rooms were all converted into offices, though none of these offices actually had doors. Just a thin layer of bamboo blinds. Wu Jiajia tiptoed her way inside. She found a room with a director's office sign taped to it. She wanted to knock, but there wasn't really a door to knock on. So, she called out softly from the outside, I'm here for the interview. I'm Wu Jiajia, is it a good time to come in? Inside the room, I jolted awake. I was so exhausted last night that I had passed out right in the middle of working. Lao San was sitting right next to me, showing off his fierce, over-the-shoulder dragon tattoo. He immediately kicked me to wake me up. Damn it, wake up. The interview candidate is here. Look at you, looking like a total mess. You're gonna scare her away. I groggily pulled my shirt on and called out, come on in. Wu Jiajia pulled aside the blind and stepped in. The second she entered, an overwhelming stench of booze slammed into her nose. She instantly furrowed her brows. This is way too unprofessional, she thought to herself. For a split second, she had the urge to just turn and run. But before I even looked up, I just rubbed my temples and asked quietly, fresh out of college, huh? Got any money on you? Wu Jiajia froze, completely caught off guard. She came from a rural village, and she hadn't brought much cash with her this time. She desperately needed to find a job, and fast. But since she had just stepped into the real world, she didn't understand the complex, hidden rules of society yet. She just shook her head in a naive, clueless way. No, I have less than $300. I slammed my hand on the desk. Perfect, I love incredibly talented, yet completely broke college students just like you. Come work for me, I can give you a 1-month advance on your salary. Wu Jiajia stood there, totally dumbfounded. She hadn't even said anything yet. And he was already hiring her? Suddenly, her teacher's warning echoed in her head. The waters in this industry are very deep. Some directors love to keep young, pretty students as sugar babies. Oh no, had she just run into a creep like that? The more she thought about it, the more terrified she got. She spun around, ready to bolt. But right at that moment, the guys outside were drawn over by the sound of me slamming the desk. They thought something bad had happened, and since they were all just waking up from last night's binge drinking. A bunch of guys with bare shoulders, covered in all sorts of tattoos, completely blocked the doorway. Wu Jiajia felt like she had been thrown right to the wolves. Her eyes instantly welled up with tears, and she just burst out crying. It was such a pitiful cry. I just shook my head in pure helplessness. I'm running a totally legit movie business here. How did this end up looking like I'm forcing a good girl into a shady gig? Hey, stop crying, I said, frowning. That scared Wu Jiajia so much she instantly choked back her sobs. She stared at me in absolute terror. Please, don't hurt me. I don't have any money. And my figure is just totally average. That actually made me laugh out of pure frustration. I dug into my pocket and pulled out $2,000 and slapped it right into Wu Jiajia's hand. We are running a legitimate business here. We welcome top-tier graduates just like you. Take this cash for now. Rent a decent place, and go buy yourself a couple of nice outfits. Be here tomorrow to clock in, alright? Wu Jiajia blinked her big, teary eyes. Suddenly, she felt like the guy standing in front of her wasn't actually as bad as she thought. Number 3 reached out and pulled Wu Jiajia to her feet, joking in his heavy regional accent, "Why's this girl so skinny? Gotta eat more, kid." The guys at the door saw that nothing serious was going on, so they all scattered and went back to their own business. Wu Jiajia finally mustered up the courage to ask, Mr. Shen, why are your employees all so unique? I looked down and thought about it for a second. If I didn't answer this right, this highly educated girl would probably turn around and bolt. What's the most crucial thing when starting a business? Talent, obviously. Then I remembered how my old boss used to string me along with big, empty promises. He'd paint this massive, beautiful picture of the future, but it was all completely useless. But using those same tricks to fool a fresh college grad? Oh, that should be a piece of cake. I looked her right in the eye and said, that is a fantastic question. Well, we are here to completely revolutionize this toxic film industry. My brothers and I have a grand vision. We're determined to save a movie market that's been completely hijacked by pretty boy idols and corporate greed. We're going to pioneer a truly new era of cinema. Beside me, number 3 was staring at me like I was an alien. He was probably thinking, how is my boss, the guy who used to just hack and slash with a machete, suddenly so damn good at sweet-talking people? But Wu Jiajia was listening with stars in her eyes. She had been stuck at home doing nothing since graduation, and she was bursting with pent-up energy. Now, hearing my passionate, totally fabricated speech, she suddenly felt like her future was absolutely limitless. She agreed on the spot. I think your company is a perfect fit for my career goals. If the company is struggling right now, I'm totally fine with taking a lower salary. Reviving the glory of modern cinema, it's our generation's absolute duty. Looking at how insanely pumped Wu Jiajia was, I was secretly laughing my ass off. No wonder corporate bosses loved selling people big fat lies. It honestly felt pretty damn good. So, I stepped forward and patted her on the shoulder. Alright, I've got a crucial mission for you right now. Wu Jiajia nodded enthusiastically. Please, tell me, find a real estate agent. I'm selling my house. The moment those words left my mouth, not only did Wu Jiajia freeze, but number 3 was also completely stunned. Something suddenly clicked in his head, and he quickly grabbed my arm. Wait, the house you're selling, it isn't your family's old ancestral home that's up for demolition, is it? If you sell the house, where the hell are you gonna live? I waved him off, not caring in the slightest. Haven't you ever heard of going all in? You can't build something new without tearing down the old. The only thing that could fetch a decent price was this downtown relocation apartment. Worth a couple of million, actually. I gotta admit, even though Wu Jiajia just graduated, she works incredibly fast. She hooked me up with an agent by the very next day. I originally figured the place would sell for 3 million at most. But to my surprise, it ended up going for a whopping 4 million. Staring at that 4 million balance in my bank account, I was honestly a bit dazed. In a market where housing prices keep going up and up, I'm probably the only crazy guy willing to trade real estate for straight cash. But with cash in hand, everything else becomes a whole lot easier. I immediately made a call and told the boys to meet up at the mall. When they got the call, they actually thought I was in some kind of trouble at the mall. They hopped into cabs and rushed over in a total panic. But when they got there, they realized I just wanted to buy everyone costumes and props for the movie shoot. Sure, ordering custom stuff directly from a factory would be cheaper, but I'm in a desperate rush to make my money back. We have to work around the clock to shoot this film and get the cash flow moving. Once we get things on track, everything else will just fall right into place. The hardest part is always getting started, and that is exactly where we are right now. Lao San led the whole gang to the mall entrance. When they found out we were just there to shop, every single one of them let out a massive sigh of relief. After all, nowadays, if you can settle things peacefully without throwing punches, you do it. Nobody wants any trouble. Our group of a dozen guys totally looked like a crew you wouldn't want to mess with. As we swaggered into the mall in a massive pack, the shoppers around us noticed, and instinctively cleared a path for us. I just stood there with a bitter smile on my face. I really didn't want to be this high profile, but the menacing vibe coming off my boys was just way too strong. They had this major stay the hell away from us aura. Even though we didn't mean any harm, it was enough to freak people out. After we walked deeper into the mall, the security guard who was hiding by the entrance finally dared to peek out. Gripping his walkie-talkie, his voice totally shook as he yelled, "Manager! Manager!" About a dozen guys just walked in, and they look like they're here to start a riot. Bring the guys down here, quick. Meanwhile, the mall manager was chilling in his office, playing Honor of Kings with the head of security. Just as they were about to destroy the enemy base, the walkie-talkie blaring suddenly made him jump out of his skin. The manager frowned as he listened. Hearing that someone was causing trouble, he snapped back, "You're the security guard. You're in charge of keeping this place safe. If someone's making a mess, why aren't you stopping them? Why the hell are you bothering me?" But the guard's reply left the manager completely speechless. It's not that I don't want to stop them. It's just that these guys are absolutely terrifying. If I try to stand in their way, I'll be sleeping in the ICU tonight. You useless coward, we have hundreds of security cameras in this mall, and plenty of shoppers to act as witnesses. You really think they dared to throw a punch? I don't believe it for a second. In broad daylight, there's no way people can be this lawless. After that, he turned to the head of security and said, "Go down there and see what's going on. And while you're at it, give that guard at the door a piece of your mind." How can a few guys scare him that badly? You got it, boss. Just wait for my good news. Whoever they are, I promise I'll sort them out. With that, the head of security took a slow, leisurely ride down the elevator. Meanwhile, our group of a dozen guys stood out like a sore thumb. Even though we were trying our hardest to lay low, there was simply no hiding that gangster vibe. People on the street were giving us a wide berth. I was walking right in the middle of the pack. Suddenly, someone tapped me on the shoulder. I froze instantly. I whipped around. In our line of work, there are only two types of people who dare pull a stunt like that. The first, a blood brother or a boss. Basically, one of our own. The second, an enemy looking for a fight. And honestly, the latter was way more likely. The guys with me were all my former crew. So seeing this go down, they instantly went on high alert. I didn't recognize the guy. Just some greasy-looking dude in a security uniform. So I just asked, "Can I help you?" But my boys didn't see it that way. Years of instinct were carved right into their bones. Especially 3, he's always had a hot temper. He narrowed his eyes and got right in the security captain's face. His voice was ice cold. "Our boss Yan is talking to you. Are you deaf? Or are you just looking for trouble?" The second he said that, the rest of the crew swarmed in. Every single one of them was radiating pure, violent energy. Now, this security captain? Total coward who only picked on the weak. He definitely bought his way into the job. Barking at his own guards was one thing. But facing down guys like us who've actually seen blood, he completely crumbled. Surrounded by the boys, the pressure on him skyrocketed. Cold sweat was pouring down his greasy face. Then, something clicked in his head. He forced a pathetic smile. You gentlemen look like new customers. If you need help with anything, just ask me. I'm the head of security here." Honestly, I had no idea what was going on. I actually thought the guy was just being super friendly. I waved him off. "Nah, we're good. My boys and I are just looking around. Go back to work." The captain looked like he'd just been spared from execution. He bolted, practically tripping over his own feet. As he ran, he screamed into his walkie-talkie, "Boss, I can't handle these guys. They're terrifying." Meanwhile, the clothing department manager on the second floor sighed and put his phone away. He cursed under his breath. "Useless trash. Can't even handle a simple problem. Now I have to go deal with it myself." Wanting to wrap things up quickly, so he could get back to his video game, he took a shortcut through the staff hallways. But he was walking way too fast. The second he stepped out, he ran right smack into us. He looked up and met the death glares of over a dozen tough guys. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw the security captain hiding on the side, frantically winking at him. The manager instantly got the picture. So these were the guys. No wonder the guards were too terrified to stop them. He gulped, thinking to himself, if he dared to talk tough to us, would he get beaten to a pulp? Screw it, he thought. Better to look like a coward than to lose my life. So, just like the captain, the manager flipped a switch. He slapped on a sickeningly sweet smile. "Gentlemen, are you enjoying your shopping experience here at our mall today? I'm the manager here. If you need absolutely anything, just let me know." His pathetic expression was identical to the security captain's. He looked like a dog wagging its tail, begging for its life. First the captain, now the manager. Anyone with half a brain could smell the fear rolling off them. But hey, I wasn't gonna expose them. If they were handing themselves to me on a silver platter, I wasn't about to let them off the hook. I was just stressing over how to save some cash on our new outfits, too. I took a step forward, a smirking grin spreading across my face. "Well, since you're so eager to help, Mr. Manager, why don't you lead the way? And with a guy like you vouching for us, getting a sweet discount shouldn't be a problem, right?" The manager was absolutely dreading making eye contact with my intimidating gaze. Terrified that if he said no, I'd completely turn on him. He could only force out a smile that looked worse than crying. "Yes, absolutely yes," and just like that, at an incredibly low price, we bought a massive batch of costumes for filming. Over the next few days, I used the rest of the money on the card to gradually buy up all the props we needed for the shoot. Today in the studio, I looked at the brothers beside me, stood up, and clapped my hands with joy. "All right, to celebrate us, let's take a company family photo and post it on our account." Consider it a celebration for our very first movie about to start shooting. The studio was small, and there was no way to fit over 30 guys in there. We had to split it into 2 shots. Even so, half the guys had to squat while the other half stood, just so we could barely squeeze everyone into the frame. The group posed, and after I snapped the photo, I stared at it for 5 minutes straight. The more I looked, the more familiar it felt. This was literally a squad of total villains. Every single one of them had this intense, fierce glare, looking exactly like somebody owed them $10 million bucks. If you didn't know any better, you'd think it was a massive prison reunion. I couldn't help but mutter to myself, is this photo even going to pass the platform's review if I post it? I used a phone app to do some basic touch-ups, and directly posted it to our account. Uploaded. I also bought a little bit of traffic boost just to see how it would do. I didn't really take the whole thing too seriously, and just handed the account over to Wu Jiajia to manage. Well, a whole day went by, and when I checked it again the next day, that video actually got hundreds of thousands of views. The likes had completely smashed past 100,000, and our followers had shot up to 8,000. But the craziest part was, the comment section was absolutely blowing up, totally flooded with people joking around and roasting us. Good lord, am I going blind? A film company? This account actually claims to be a legit film company. I've always heard the entertainment industry was sketchy, but damn, they aren't even trying to hide it anymore. The glares on these big bros are absolutely terrifying. Even a dog walking by would get smacked. Reading through all these comments, I honestly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. For a second, I really didn't know if I should be thrilled or just totally helpless. We were officially starting our shoot this afternoon. But first, we had to shoot a teaser trailer to release early and build up some hype. That way, our box office numbers would hit even higher later on. I was planning to dive straight into shooting the 3rd installment of the Young and Dangerous series. Fierce Dragon Crossing the River. It's hands down the most classic movie in the entire franchise. So many iconic scenes came straight out of this one. For the trailer, I chose the scene in the abandoned building, where Crow violently teaches his underling a lesson. It perfectly highlights just how absolutely ruthless the character is, while also showing the audience the true selling points of the movie, hot-blooded passion, the deep grudges and messy love of the underworld, and the intense loyalty and ultimate betrayal between brothers. A gritty, flesh and blood underworld, filled with a gang of totally unpredictable characters. For this specific scene, I had Lao San play Crow. His face naturally had this really fierce, terrifying vibe to it anyway. And he always acted so damn arrogant. He was literally a match made in heaven for the role of Crow. To help everyone get into the zone, on the drive over to the abandoned building, I broke down the script with the guys the entire way there. I even told them to light up a cigarette to help them get into character early. By the time we got out of the car, Lao San was already completely lost in the role. His eyes were burning with wild, unchecked arrogance. To make the whole thing look even more realistic, we intentionally brought along a whole bunch of machetes and heavy blades. We looked like a straight-up gang carrying our machetes right into the unfinished building. Now, this place was already super remote, and usually, absolutely nobody ever came around here, so we didn't really think twice about it. But as luck would have it, a random passerby just happened to be walking by today, and caught us dead in the act, looking completely unhinged and pulling literal machetes out of the car. He was so terrified, he hid in the corner, shaking like a leaf. Ah! Mother of God, this is gonna be an all-out turf war. No way, I'm an upstanding citizen. I can't just sit back and let this happen. Muttering to himself, he whipped out his phone and immediately dialed 911. Muttering to himself, he whipped out his phone and immediately dialed 911. Meanwhile, my crew and I were upstairs setting up the scene, when suddenly, police sirens wailed downstairs. Right after that, a megaphone blared. Drop your weapons, stop this senseless standoff, otherwise, we will be forced to take action. I repeat, drop your weapons, right now. I rushed to the window and looked down. The street below was completely packed with police cruisers. Countless cops were swarming the place, gripping their riot shields and batons. They were staring nervously up at our floor. Seeing that massive squad down there, my jaw practically hit the floor. I thought we were being super low-key. We specifically hid to avoid any misunderstandings. But despite all our careful planning, some nosy passerby still spotted us and called the cops. San and the boys huddled around me. Boss, we're busted. Let's get out of here. Retreat? Retreat my foot. We are shooting a movie. It's perfectly legal and completely above board. We aren't running some shady criminal ring. Why the hell would we run from the cops? San and the guys just scratched their heads, muttering to themselves, well, when the cops decide to raid a place, they don't mess around. Who wouldn't be freaked out? Still, they listened to me. We stopped what we were doing and tidied up the set, waiting for the officers to come upstairs. Nobody is dumb enough to go head to head with the law. Even if we do know a few martial arts moves. When the 7 or 8 cops reached our floor, the officers in the front row had their hands hovering right over their holsters. If anything looked shady, they were ready to strike at a second's notice. And honestly, you can't blame them. Your average street brawls happen out in the open alleyways. But an abandoned, isolated building like this usually hides something huge, maybe even an underground black market deal. So when the cops showed up, they had to be on absolute high alert. I totally got that, which is why I had already completely cleared the set. We all just sat there in a neat little row, patiently waiting for the inspection. The squad was made up of local beat cops. After getting that frantic emergency call, they sensed things could get ugly, so they immediately called for backup. They suspected a massive underground deal. After all, the guys who run those syndicates are completely ruthless. One wrong move and things could turn fatal. The guy leading the charge was Captain Shu Damo. He was in his 40s, a seasoned veteran, who had tangled with his fair share of hardcore criminals. He took the lead at the very front of the pack. As they neared the top floor, he silently signaled for everyone to hug the walls. That way, if the suspects turned out to be trigger-happy maniacs, they could dive for cover instantly. He silently counted down in his head, 3, 2, 1, and then lunged forward in a flash. He drew his weapon, aiming right at us, and roared, "Put your hands in the air. Nobody move, we got a tip off that there is major illegal activity going on here." But as his eyes adjusted to the scene, he completely froze. Looking totally dumbfounded, he blurted out, "Why the hell are you guys naked? Who told you to strip down to nothing but your underwear? Keep those hands high in the air, and form a single line." We'd already stripped down to our bare chests, with cameras set up all around us. We just wanted to show right away that we meant no harm, and get this whole mess over with quickly. We were terrified some rookie cop in the squad might panic, and accidentally pull the trigger. Because that would be a huge disaster. You've got to understand, in situations like this, their gun safeties are completely off. Now, Officer Shu Da-mo had been on the force for over a decade. And he'd seen it all, but the bizarre scene right in front of him still left him scratching his head. He glanced at the camera gear scattered around. Sure, he wasn't in the showbiz industry, but he knew his way around the block. One look and he could easily tell we were shooting a video. Then he looked back at our crew, all covered head to toe in tattoos, and finally figured out we weren't pulling some illegal drug deal. Only then did he finally holster his weapon. The other cops saw this, giving us these incredibly awkward looks. They were probably thinking, are these guys some kind of weirdos? Officer Shu stepped forward, and asked hesitantly, "Are you guys shooting a movie?" I just nodded. Then he asked, like, one of those simple little adult films with just one guy and one girl? I was left completely speechless. Do we really look that incapable of shooting a decent, legitimate movie? I took a good look at my brothers standing next to me. Well, yeah, I guess we kinda do. I quickly explained, "Come on, officer. We're a fully licensed film production company. Our office is right down on Snack Street." Officer Shu looked even more baffled. "Your movie studio is on Snack Street?" I just rolled my eyes at him. Hey, is there a law that says a movie studio can't be on Snack Street? He thought about it for a second, and realized there actually wasn't. Officer Shu and his squad then did a thorough sweep of the set. Once they made absolutely sure everything was clean, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Man, that tip-off we just got scared the living daylights out of me," he said. "I thought we were walking into a massive firefight. Turns out it was just a huge false alarm. Next time you shoot a movie, keep it a little more low-key, alright? Causing such a massive scene. We're incredibly busy guys too, you know." The rest of us just kept apologizing profusely. We planned for absolutely everything, but still ended up getting reported by some busybody. Honestly though, we were already keeping it as low-key as possible. Any lower, and we'd literally be crawling on the floor. After seeing the cops out, the boys all slumped into their chairs, letting out a massive sigh of relief. Lao San just sat there chuckling like an idiot. "Man, This is the very first time we've ever run into the cops and walked away completely unscathed. I scoffed at him. Oh, look at you, getting all excited over nothing. Just you wait. Believe it or not, once our movie blows up, we'll be the police's top VIP protection targets. Now cut the crap, get back to the set. We need to push hard and finish shooting the trailer today, so we can edit it and get it posted. With that, everyone quickly straightened up their gear and immediately locked right back into shooting mode. Lao San stood in the corner, taking deep breath after deep breath. Now, when it came to street brawls, he was an absolute pro. But acting? He was like a nervous bride on her wedding day. This was his absolute first time. I stood in the back, constantly hounding them. Come on, everybody, get into character. We are rolling right now. And the moment I yelled, action, every single person snapped right into character. One of the guys, playing the lowly henchman, was kneeling on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. His face was filled with pure terror. Boss, I swear, I really regret it. I never should have joined the gang. Please, just let me go. I'm so terrified I'm gonna end up dead on the streets one day. Lao San stood towering over him. A wicked smirk plastered across his face, dripping with absolute contempt. With a look of pure mockery, he crouched down and tilted his head. Sneering arrogantly, you swore a blood oath to follow me back then, and now you're just gonna walk away? With that, he sprang up abruptly, his face contorted with rage. If you just up and leave today, how the hell am I supposed to lead my crew? Enforce the gang rules. The guy playing the underling suddenly snatched a machete right off the table. He slashed wildly at the third boss. It was so fast, it actually made my heart skip a beat. Then the blade slammed fiercely into the table, startling the third boss. Honestly, I couldn't tell if his reaction was just great acting, or if he was genuinely terrified. Right after that, the other guys rushed in and pinned the underling down. The third boss picked up the prop machete. He brought it down hard on the wrist rigged with a blood bag. Instantly, fake blood splattered everywhere. The crew members standing nearby had never seen a spectacle quite like this. Chills ran down everyone's spines. Finally, the third boss walked right up to the statue of Lord Guan. He smashed the statue to absolute pieces, screaming arrogantly, Lord Guan. What's the damn point of even worshipping you? Nowadays, even the underlings dare to pull a knife on their own boss. Out here on the streets, does anyone even care about loyalty anymore? Your old ways are completely dead. What the hell are all of you looking at? Drag this piece of trash out of here. I yelled out, cut. That take was absolutely phenomenal. Let's all take a quick break. It was only then that everyone snapped back to reality. They finally realized it was just a scene for the movie. They were so terrified they had been holding their breath the whole time. The scene was just so incredibly realistic. Anyone walking by would have thought a real gang war was about to break out. After several grueling hours of shooting, the main footage for the trailer was finally in the can. I handed it off to the professional editors, and once it was done, I proudly uploaded it to the short video platforms. It went viral overnight. By the very next day, I opened the comment section with my heart pounding. Thank God, all I saw were glowing reviews and pure hype. My racing heart finally calmed down. One comment read, "This is the most badass trailer I have ever seen." Bar none, the vibes here are just so raw and authentic. I absolutely love this brutal, no-nonsense style. Now this is what real men should look like. Those scrawny little pretty boys have nothing on this. I've got a strong feeling. As long as this movie actually makes it to the theaters, it is going to be a massive hit. Question: how many hits could one of those pretty boys survive against the Crow? Reading all these incredible reviews didn't just boost my confidence. It also fired up the boys and the entire crew. We were finally ready to officially start shooting the actual movie. Since this was a low-budget indie production, we couldn't just do what the big blockbuster movies do and ask the city to block off entire streets for us. We just had to squeeze in our shots wherever and whenever we could around town. Luckily though, the third boss was super popular down by the food street. I honestly thought our filming would mess up the local vendors' business. But after giving them a heads up, not a single person minded. A bunch of them even offered to come help us out for absolutely free. Just hoping to get their faces in the movie. But what was even cooler was that there was this really famous bar right on the food street called Romantic. It was absolutely perfect for our scenes, and the bar staff could even step in as extras. That completely saved us the time of hunting for background actors. Sure, we didn't have the crazy budget of a massive production. But for a gritty gangster flick like this, shooting it guerrilla style actually gave it a much more authentic, street-level vibe. It fit the storyline perfectly. Oh, and it's definitely worth mentioning. The star of our movie, playing the lead gangster role, was the fifth brother, Pei Wen-hao. He was actually one of the few guys in our crew with some real brains. And not only that, he was seriously handsome and rocked a shredded six-pack, along with perfectly sculpted pecs. But the craziest part of all? Even after running the streets for all these years, he didn't have a single scar on his entire body. He's actually got a bit of that Eddie Peng vibe. And there's another interesting thing. Pei Wen-hao and the owner of the romantic bar go way back, as old flames. It'll be a breeze getting him to do a cameo for our shoot. And if we can get them to act in a scene together, they'd basically just be playing themselves. As evening fell, the sky gradually turned dark. Since we were borrowing the romantic bar for the shoot, they hung up a close sign early. Out of respect for Pei Wen-hao, the owner only charged us a flat rate of $1,000. After all, she still had to cover staff wages and utility bills. As the crew set up the cameras, she stood right behind me. She was around 30, a gorgeous older woman oozing with charm. She took incredible care of herself. Even though she'd been divorced once, she had this mature allure that younger girls just don't have. She had the vibe of a perfectly ripe apple. I actively tried to keep my eyes to myself, but I still noticed her gaze constantly drifting over to Pei Wen-hao. There was definitely some history between those two, but I wasn't in the mood to dig into all that gossip. As long as it didn't hold up the shoot, I was fine with it. Just when everything was set and we were about to roll, someone started violently pounding on the bar's front door. Everyone turned to look. Then, we all looked back at the owner. She furrowed her delicate brows, looking visibly annoyed. Who on earth is banging on the door at this hour? Can't they see the closed sign outside? Causing a scene right now was basically a slap in the face to her. She was getting ticked off, and shot a look to the bartender nearby, signaling him to get the door. The moment he opened it, he tried to explain, "Sorry, we're closed for the day." "Hey, what are you doing? We're really closed. If you take one more step, I'm calling the cops." Smack! A sharp slap echoed through the room. Then, a guy with a high-pitched voice sneered, "I don't give a damn if you're closed. Bring your boss out here." A skinny guy, built like a twig, marched straight up to the bar, pulled out a stool, and sat down. "I know you're closed, but that's got nothing to do with me. I'm here to collect." "Collect what?" the owner demanded, stepping forward. Her voice was ice cold. The man exchanged a look with his two goons, and flashed a smug, mocking grin. "Don't play dumb. Protection money. There are a lot of thugs on these streets right now. If something were to happen here, you'd need us to watch your back, wouldn't you? A little protection fee is more than fair." The owner scowled. She'd been running this bar for 7 or 8 years. Sure, she used to pay protection money back in the day, but ever since the police crackdowns, she hadn't paid a dime. It had been 3 years now. For this gang to suddenly show up out of nowhere, it would piss anyone off. Before she could even say a word, Pei Wen-hao and Lao San silently slipped up right behind the thugs. Hands in their pockets, cigarettes dangling from their lips. They looked incredibly intimidating. The 3 thugs clearly hadn't expected to find so many unfamiliar guys inside the bar. They had scoped the place out beforehand, thinking it was just a lone woman running the joint without any real backup. That's the only reason they had the guts to waltz in so arrogantly. But guys in the underworld always have a sixth sense about these things. One look, and the thugs knew we weren't just some nobodies. We had that dangerous, ruthless edge to us. "Who the hell are you guys?" the man with the squeaky voice asked. I paused for a second. Then a mocking smirk crossed my face. "You barge into my turf and ask who I am? Doesn't that sound like a load of crap to you?" The 3 of them were furious but didn't dare say a word. Hearing the other noises inside the bar, and knowing we outnumbered them, they had no choice but to swallow their pride for now. They figured a wise man knows when to back down, and there would be plenty of chances for payback later. But wanting to save face, they kept a cold expression, scoffed loudly, and tried to walk away. But it wasn't going to be that easy. "Think you can just walk away?" Lao San stepped right up. He clamped his hands down on the shoulders of the 2 lackeys in the back, pushing down with crushing force. The 2 of them winced in agony, but didn't dare fight back. They just had to grit their teeth and take it. You see, Lao San was freakishly strong. He could crush a walnut with just 2 fingers. In no time, their shoulders were already turning black and blue. The squeaky-voiced guy in front turned red, then pale. Because Pei Wenhao took the cigarette right out of his mouth and stubbed it out directly on the guy's pants. Once it was out, I slowly strolled up from the back. Lao San and Pei Wenhao stepped aside. Like they always say, pawns fight pawns, and kings fight kings. Squashing a few low-level grunts was no fun at all. I stared him down and said, "Go call your boss, the one actually in charge. I can see you guys are still acting tough. If I couldn't even handle you punks, how the hell could I film a gangster movie?" I glared right at him and spat out 3 words. "You damn sissy. What are you staring at?" That guy absolutely hated being called a sissy. Hearing those words, he instantly blew up. He pointed at me, screaming, "You just wait right here. Don't you dare run." He pulled out his phone and stormed over to the corner to make a call. He kept glancing back at us, terrified we were gonna jump him from behind. Over the phone, he whined to the other end, "Boss, we hit a brick wall. Da Lu and Wang Wu just got beaten up. If you don't get over here, things are gonna go totally out of control." A gruff voice rasped from the other end. "There's someone like that on Snack Street? Did you get a good look at who they are? Don't go pissing off the wrong people, damn it." The squeaky-voiced guy quickly replied, "They aren't anybody important. They're not from the underworld. I've never seen them around here. It looks like they're a movie crew. They must be loaded. Boss, this is a massive cash cow." Hearing that, the guy on the other end instantly perked up. His voice grew urgent. "You guys hold them off. Do not let that easy money get away. I'll be right there. Just throw yourselves on the floor and play dead. Movie crews are filthy rich, I've heard that for a long time. Now that they bumped into us today, if we don't shake them down for a few $100,000. We are not letting this go. We can play the waiting game. They definitely can't afford a delay." He hung up the phone. A sinister smirk crept onto the squeaky-voiced guy's face. Shortly after, a van pulled up right outside. About a dozen guys poured out of the vehicle, every single one of them looking like they wanted blood. They clearly meant business. The ruthless-looking guy leading the pack swaggered into the bar. Trying to act all calm and tough, he barked, "Who wanted to see me? Who put their hands on my boys? Step the hell up." Now that both sides had about the same number of guys, their crew wasn't so intimidated by us anymore. I slowly stepped out from the crowd, sitting face to face with him at the bar counter, a faint smile resting on my face. "This is my turf, I'll handle it." Hearing this, the guy named Zhang Wensai let out a smug, scheming smirk. "I'm a very reasonable guy. You beat up 3 of my brothers. So for medical bills, hospital stays, emotional damage, and security fees, I won't ask for much. Just hand over 200,000, and we'll walk right out of here. We'll even guarantee this bar's safety from now on." Hearing that, Old 3 suddenly burst into laughter. He'd seen plenty of shakedowns before, but being on the receiving end was a total first. Still chuckling, he asked, "And what exactly are you gonna do if we don't pay up?" Zhang Wensai sneered, "If you don't pay, then don't blame us when things get ugly." Before he could even finish, a guy with a squeaky voice next to him frantically tugged at his jacket, stammering nervously, "B boss. Look around. Something's not right." Zhang Wensai yanked off his oversized shades. That's when he finally realized our boys had completely surrounded them. And to avoid ruining their costumes in a brawl, the guys had all stripped to the waist, showing off their ripped, heavily muscled builds. Before these boys started following me, they regularly faced off against ruthless, battle-hardened veterans, and even absolute desperados. Brutal brawls were just a daily routine for them. If you weren't tough as nails, you simply wouldn't survive. Because of that, every single one of them was covered head to toe in scars, littered with knife wounds of all sizes. Some thought the scars were an eyesore, so they covered them up with heavy tattoos, making them look even more terrifying. Zhang Wensai stared at us as we closed in step by step, his eyes darting frantically across our bodies. He took in the densely packed knife scars, noticing fresh wounds stacked right on top of old ones. But the most insane part? He even spotted 2 actual bullet holes. His heart completely sank. Mother of God, he thought. These are hardcore killers who've been in actual shootouts. One look at our intimidating aura and massive builds, and it was obvious we were heavily trained professionals. Meanwhile, the guys backing him up were just a bunch of high school dropouts and street punks. They were fine at bullying honest shopkeepers, but against a crew like ours, they wouldn't even serve as a light snack. Right then, Zhang Wensai completely despised those 3 lackeys of his. Of all the people to mess with, They just had to provoke a squad of absolute nightmares like us. In an instant, his entire demeanor flipped, pasting on a sickeningly sweet, flattering grin. "Boss, it's a misunderstanding. This is all just a huge misunderstanding. We were just cracking a little joke. You guys are actors, right? Actually, I've always dreamed of being an actor too. That was just a little improv performance back there. Pretty convincing, right?" Saying that out loud, he wanted nothing more than to slap himself across the face. I stayed perfectly still on my bar stool, my legs casually crossed. That faint smile never left my face. "You know, I really preferred the arrogant, bad boy attitude you guys had a second ago. Why don't you bring that back for me?" I said, playfully hooking a finger at him. He obediently leaned in, but suddenly, I lashed out and clamped my hand down hard on his ear, yanking it so violently that he winced and bared his teeth in absolute agony. Yet, he didn't dare make a single peep. "You think you're getting off that easily today? Our boss lady over there got pretty spooked by you guys. So, how are you gonna compensate her? Whatever she wants, goes. Oh, and those protection fees, you extorted from the local shops? You're going to refund every single penny. On top of that, you owe each shop 2 cartons of premium Yellow Crane Tower cigarettes. And 2 bottles of top-shelf liquor. You don't have a problem with that, do you?" Zhang Wenkai's face scrunched up in agony. "Just how much is this gonna cost? All this stuff adds up to nearly $1,000 per shop, and they collected protection money from dozens of them. After all this, we're gonna have to pay out at least tens of thousands of dollars." Seeing him stay totally silent, I narrowed my eyes. My voice dropped to an icy chill. "What? Is there a problem?" Zhang Wenkai frantically waved his hands. No. Even if I have to sell a kidney, I'll get the money together." I nodded in satisfaction. "Good, I was originally gonna give you 7 days, but now, you've got 2. Get it done, fast." He thought he'd have 7 whole days, but now he only had 2. Zhang Wenkai was dying inside, but he had no choice but to force a smile and accept it. He even had to fake a look of sheer gratitude. Watching them slink out of the bar like beaten dogs, I actually felt a huge sense of accomplishment. Wow, reasoning with people feels fantastic. My guys were just utterly speechless. How the hell was that reasoning? That was straight up extortion. Once Zhang Wenkai was outside the bar, he pulled a long, miserable face. Losing tens of thousands of dollars hurt more than actually dying. He turned around, spotted that squeaky-voiced guy, and marched right up, kicking him over 6 feet away. "This is all your damn fault. You said they were total pushovers. That's the only reason I dared to come. I swear, I want to rip out your kidney and sell it. Just to cover this massive hole." After screaming at him, he slumped his shoulders in defeat. "There's no other way. I'll just have to ask my cousin for help. Man, we haven't talked in years. I heard he's a huge influencer now, with over 1 million followers. Is being an influencer really that profitable?" The squeaky-voiced guy looked at him like he was a complete idiot. "Bro, is there anything more profitable than being an influencer these days? And it's not just about the money. The influence is insane. The fans of those big-time creators can be turned into a weapon with just a little push. We took a massive beating today. If you get your cousin on this, he can definitely teach them a brutal lesson. They're making a movie, right? Word of mouth and public image are their absolute lifelines. If we just smear a little dirt on their name, I guarantee they'll be ruined." Zhang Wenkai's eyes immediately lit up. He smacked the back of the guy's head. "Why didn't you say that earlier? Come on, let's go find my cousin right now. Even if we can't beat them in a fight, we can make their lives a living hell." Zhang Wenkai's cousin was named Zhang Jin Cheng. He was a food reviewer and influencer who made his living squeezing kickbacks out of local restaurants. When he heard his little cousin wanted to frame a film crew, his eyes instantly lit up with interest. After all, pulling dirty stunts like that was exactly how he built his career. Once he found out it was just some no-name indie crew. Zhang Jin Cheng patted his chest proudly. "Don't you worry, I've got this completely covered." He scoffed dismissively. "It's just some pathetic, unknown film crew, right? How on earth could they fight me? I promise you, I'll have them begging on their knees and hosting a massive apology banquet. Apologizing to you in person. And if they don't, I'll completely destroy them online." The very next day, Zhang Jin Cheng marched straight to the entrance of the romantic bar. Only to find out we weren't filming there. We were shooting street scenes over at the local food alley. Tracking us down wasn't hard at all. We were the only film production crew in the entire area. In fact, I'm probably the only guy crazy enough to set up a film studio right in the middle of a food street. The set had basically been cleared out. The only people left were my production crew. When Zhang Jincheng saw the cameras rolling, he knew his golden opportunity had arrived. He figured, no matter what we were shooting, he could always find some tiny flaw to blow totally out of proportion. And with his editing skills, he could definitely blow this whole thing out of proportion. Thinking of this, he quickly grabbed his camera to record, but the moment he turned it on, the sight before him left him completely shocked. We were actually filming a fight scene inside a convenience store. The acting was incredibly realistic, and the shop owner's terrified, trembling reaction didn't look like acting at all. How could Zhang Jincheng possibly know about the classic movie Young and Dangerous? He just jumped to the conclusion that we were violently threatening the shop owner to force his cooperation. He quickly caught the whole scene on camera. We were filming with such intense energy right in front, completely clueless that some creep was secretly recording us from behind. After all, our budget was tight, and the vendors on the food street still needed to run their businesses. So we couldn't block off the entire street. This gave Zhang Jincheng the perfect opportunity to sneak around. We wrapped up the scene pretty quickly, packed up our gear, and got ready for the next shot. Meanwhile, Zhang Jincheng had already slipped away, heading home with the footage he just shot. He fired up his editing software, getting ready to add some artistic flair to the clips. To put it bluntly, he was framing us. And he was an absolute pro at this kind of dirty work. In less than an hour, the fully edited video was ready to go. He was extremely pleased after watching it. In the video, we were made to look like brutal thugs extorting local businesses. Acting like absolute scum, he even made sure to deliberately catch our production crew's logo in the frame. Any observant viewer online would spot it in a heartbeat. He was already scheming in his head, figuring that the moment our crew reached out to him, he would seize the chance to blackmail us. He'd take the cash, delete the video, issue a fake apology to the internet, and move on as if nothing ever happened. In his mind, the internet has the memory of a goldfish. Right after that, he took the video and blasted it across all his social media accounts. But to his surprise, less than 5 hours after posting, views smashed past 1 million, sparking massive outrage across the entire web. Nowadays, people are super sensitive about public safety. So even the slightest hint of trouble gets blown totally out of proportion. And our blatant harassment of the shop owner completely infuriated the online community. Thousands of self-righteous keyboard warriors jumped on the bandwagon, leaving nasty comments, liking, and sharing the post. A lot of people even went out of their way to dig up our company's private information. We completely fell right into Zhang Jincheng's trap, and practically overnight, our company went viral. Only, we were viral for all the wrong reasons. We became absolutely notorious, our reputation dragged straight through the mud. 98 out of 100 people were relentlessly cursing us out. Only a tiny fraction of viewers thought there might be more to the story, choosing to hold off on commenting. Some even attacked us, calling us blood-sucking capitalists, labeling us the toxic mafia of the entertainment industry. They were demanding we face severe punishment. Meanwhile, Zhang Jincheng was hiding at home, totally smug and full of himself. Things were escalating way beyond his wildest dreams. He never imagined that a casually edited video could generate such a massive, explosive reaction. He even gained tens of thousands of followers off it. It was literally killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He fully expected the production crew to come crawling to him the very next day, begging for mercy, offering cash to settle things and delete the video. But 4 whole days went by, and he heard absolutely nothing. He couldn't sit still anymore. Could things be taking a different turn? He wondered. So, he finally stepped out to snoop around for information. It was ridiculously easy for him to track down our shooting location. After all, we were the only film company operating in this area. That day, we were filming at an abandoned factory out in the western suburbs. He quietly crept his way over, only to discover that we had actually set up a funeral mourning hall inside the factory. He felt a rush of malicious joy, found a dark corner to hide in, and plotted to capture even more evidence to blow the scandal way out of proportion. He was absolutely certain this would force us to surrender. But just as he settled into his hiding spot, hearing the loud commotion coming from inside the factory, Zhang Jincheng was absolutely thrilled. Talk about perfect timing. He quickly pressed his ear against the wall to listen closely. But what he heard made the color drain from his face. They were actually arguing about turf and gang bosses. A split second later, a massive brawl broke out. He carefully peeked his head around the corner to get a look, only to have a massive splash of blood fly right at him. Terrified, he instantly ducked back down. Inside the factory, it was total chaos. Everyone was beating the living daylights out of each other. Oh my god, there is no way they are just shooting a movie. Who the hell films a movie like this? This is a straight-up gang war. While he was trembling in fear, agonizing screams kept echoing out from the factory. He could literally hear the blood splattering. In his head, he cursed out Zhang Wensai 10,000 times. What kind of absolute psychos did he mess with? He did not dare stay a second longer. He sprinted as fast as he could, terrified they would spot him. Only after running a safe distance did it finally click. He needed to call the cops. He whipped out his phone and tightly covered his mouth with his hand, keeping his voice as low as possible as he dialed the emergency number. Deathly afraid that we would hear him. As soon as the call connected, he desperately whispered, "Hello? I need the police. There is a massive gang war at the abandoned factory in the west suburbs. People are getting killed. There is blood splattered everywhere. I am so freaking scared. You need to get here right now." On the other end of the line, Captain Shu Damo instantly snapped to attention. "Are you absolutely sure? How many of them are there? What is the current situation?" Zhang Jincheng was on the verge of tears. "How the hell should I know the details? They are tearing each other apart in there. I hid far away so they would not see me. Just get over here quickly. Keep your head down and stay safe. We are on our way right now." Hanging up the phone, Shu Damo's adrenaline started pumping. He could not believe that right here in his own district, something this massive was going down. But deep down, he was puzzled. Since when did they have such a ruthless gang in this town? Could they be from out of town? There was no time to overthink it. He immediately rallied every available officer at the precinct, speeding straight toward the abandoned factory in the west suburbs. The place had been deserted for years, meaning no one would ever stumble upon it. Honestly, it was the perfect spot for an underground gang war. Just as Shu Damo was about to roll out, a young rookie spoke up. "Uncle Mo, you sure this is not another false alarm? Remember last time? They were literally just shooting a movie, and we thought it was a turf war." Shu Damo shot him a deadly glare. "There are no such things as coincidences," he barked. "You really think someone misread a movie set twice? If we had luck like that, we should all be buying lottery tickets." With that, he slammed the squad car door shut. The sirens blared to life. Dozens of police cruisers rolled out in a massive convoy, lighting up the entire street. Pedestrians stopped and stared, wondering what kind of crazy disaster had just happened. Meanwhile, back inside the abandoned factory, we had absolutely no idea what was going on outside. We were right in the middle of shooting the movie's grand finale, the brutal scene where Crow gets taken out. We originally wanted to use a real flamethrower, but man, those things are just too damn hard to get. So, we switched it up to a gritty, blood-pumping gang brawl instead. We even hired a bunch of extras who knew their way around a street fight. This scene was the absolute climax of the film, and every single person on camera actually knew how to throw a real punch. That is when I suddenly had a crazy idea. Screw the script. I let everyone just roll with it based on their own understanding. I only needed to explain everyone's role, and the plot clearly, and that was it. But once the cameras started rolling, the results were surprisingly amazing. The hard-hitting fight scenes were all real kung fu. Everyone brought a little bit of their own personal feelings into it. Some guys got way too into character. If I hadn't yelled cut in time, a real fight might have actually broken out. Looking at how beat up and exhausted everyone was, I felt bad for the guys. I decided we were done with those cheap boxed lunches. I ordered some good takeout to reward my brothers. But before the food could even arrive, the sound of police sirens beat it to us. I walked over to the window, and through the filthy glass, I spotted a familiar figure. I instantly burst out laughing. Well, if it isn't Officer Shu Damo. And the few cops next to him were the exact same familiar faces we saw last time. Just then, I noticed some stranger come running out from the side of the factory. He was gesturing wildly at the cops, looking totally panicked. It didn't take a genius to figure out that he was definitely the one who called the cops. Then this guy led the police marching aggressively straight toward the factory. The way he was strutting around, piggybacking on the cops' authority, was just hilarious to watch. Pei Wenhao stared at the guy, frowned, and said, "This dude looks kinda familiar. I think he's a local internet celebrity." I paused for a second. An internet celebrity? Local? You actually know him? Pei Wenhao shook his head. I wouldn't say I know him, but I've seen him around a few times. He's got a bit of fame online. I think his name is Zhang Jincheng. I pressed further. What's his screen name? Do you remember at all? Pei Wenhao wasn't stupid. He instantly connected the dots to how our company got smeared online lately. His eyes went ice cold. Boss, are you saying this bastard is the one who set us up? I nodded, the moment Liu Gang and the rest of the guys heard that. They absolutely blew up. We don't even know this punk. Why the hell is he messing with us? Zhang Jincheng and Zhang Wensai. Those two might actually be relatives. He cut off their money supply. He's trying to trip us up on purpose. They can't beat us face to face, so they're playing dirty. Too bad his tricks are just way too clumsy. I just smiled. I've already figured out exactly how we're going to clear our names. Just sit back and enjoy the show. But just to stop this jerk from pulling any more stunts, let's invite him over for a nice cup of tea tonight. Saying that, I shot the boys a knowing look. The guys instantly got the message. Outside, Zhang Jincheng led the cops and started pounding aggressively on the factory's front gate. He screamed, "Open up! You are completely surrounded." The other cops were just speechless. They hadn't even scoped out the situation inside yet. And screaming like that was a fast track to pissing off whoever was inside. Officer Shu glared at him. "Shut your mouth." Right at that moment, Officer Shu noticed the two Wuling vans parked right by the entrance. They looked awfully familiar to him. A seriously bad feeling washed over him. The door swung open, and I slapped on a totally shocked face. "Officer Shu, what brings you all the way out here? Is there something we can help you with?" Seeing us, Officer Shu cursed under his breath. "It's this damn film crew again. They just never freaking go away." I smoothly passed around cigarettes to the cops, acting for all the world like we'd been best buddies for years. Zhang Jingcheng was completely dumbfounded by the scene. What the heck was going on? Wasn't this supposed to be a gang shootout? Where did those terrifying screams go? How are they so buddy-buddy with the cops? Did I just walk right into a trap? Realizing he was in deep trouble, he spun around, ready to bolt. But Shu Damo barked at him, "Hey, freeze right there. Next time, get your facts straight before calling the cops. You hear me?" After saying that, he shot me a glance. The message was loud and clear. They had received a tip-off this time, but it was all just a huge misunderstanding. After so many false alarms, even the cops were starting to feel a bit embarrassed. Besides, we hadn't gotten mad at them at all, and had been super welcoming the whole time. Even the thickest-skinned person would feel awkward. They were just about to leave, but I stopped them in their tracks. "Officer Shui, hold on a second. I have a business proposal I want to run by you. I wonder if you'd be interested in teaming up?" Shu Damo was incredibly curious. In his more than 10 years on the force, this was the first time a filmmaker had ever pitched a collaboration to the police. It piqued his interest. "All right, let's hear it. But let me be completely upfront with you, I am just here to listen. Don't make the final call on whether this happens or not." I chuckled warmly. "Uncle Mo, just hearing me out is doing me a huge favor. Even if we don't work together, no hard feelings." I called him Uncle Mo right off the bat to build a little rapport. "I want to produce an anti-gang public service announcement for the police department, completely free of charge. And I'd love for you to be the star. What do you think? An anti-gang campaign?" Shu Damo's eyes lit up instantly. Why hadn't he thought of that? Just a little while ago, the higher-ups had handed down a bunch of assignments, including a massive anti-gang public awareness campaign. Even after the crackdowns, there were still some sketchy characters roaming the streets, threatening the safety of the locals. So, they really needed to step up their outreach. They had to make sure the public understood the real dangers of organized crime, and let everyone know exactly what to do when they found themselves in a dangerous situation. It sounds easy enough on paper, but getting actual results was insanely difficult. Figuring out an effective way to get the message across had been a massive headache. But if they made a high-quality anti-gang video, it would spread like wildfire. The impact would be phenomenal. If he could pull this off, it could easily become a textbook success story, and he might even get to tour other precincts to share his expertise. He might even earn a Medal of Honor. That would be the ultimate badge of glory. The sheer thought of it made Shu Damo grab my hand in excitement. "Are you absolutely serious? You'll really film it for us for free?" I smiled and nodded reassuringly. "Absolutely, 100% free of charge. I just have one tiny little request. Hearing the words tiny little request, Shu Damo's heart immediately sank. As the saying goes, nothing in life is truly free. If my demand was totally out of line, he would have to turn me down, no matter how tempting the offer was. He lowered his voice cautiously. Let's hear it. Well, I'd like to add, right at the very end of the video, a quick promotional teaser for our studio's new movie. Our film lines up perfectly with the anti-gang theme anyway. Would you be okay with that? Shu Damo let out a massive sigh of relief. He thought it was going to be some crazy, unreasonable demand, but it was just a simple plug. Oh, if that's all, it shouldn't be an issue at all. But I will still need to run it by my superiors first. Wait for my word, if we get the green light to shoot, then we'll be counting on you guys. I quickly chimed in, Uncle Mo, you're being too polite. Shooting a promo video for the station is our absolute honor. Shu Damo looked at me with growing approval. This kid really knows how to talk. Every single word hit right at home. Then he thought about the wooden officers at his own station. How is the gap between people so huge? As the two of us hit it off, Zhang Jingcheng tried to use the chance to slip away, but I called him out. Hold on a second, how exactly do you know Zhang Wensai? The guy who posted that video framing us a few days ago. That was you too, wasn't it? You've caused our company serious reputational damage and financial losses. So, tell me, how are we gonna settle this? Hearing this, Shu Damo instantly glared at Zhang Jingcheng. We haven't even settled the score for your fake police report, and now you're framing people? If it was just bad PR, he might have turned a blind eye. But causing actual financial losses? That completely changes the nature of the crime. He snapped harshly, you're not going anywhere. Come back to the station and give a statement. Zhang Jingcheng panicked instantly, begging for mercy. I was wrong, please don't arrest me, I'm begging you. It was all my cousin Zhang Wenkai's idea. I'll take you right to him. Just let me go. To save his own skin, he sold his cousin out without a single second of hesitation. I still had a use for him, so I didn't push the issue. Instead, I pleaded with Shu Damo on his behalf. Officer Shu, let it go. I'm dropping the charges on this one. Let him walk. Seeing that the victim wasn't pressing charges, the cops stopped giving him a hard time and let him leave. Meanwhile, I was already scheming. The film crew was desperately short on hands right now. Zhang Wensai, Zhang Jingcheng, and their gang would make the perfect free labor. Plus, they already looked like bad guys. They were absolutely perfect for an anti-gang promo video. After Shu Damo and the cops left, Pei Wenhao and the boys all gave me a thumbs up. Brother Lang, that was a genius move. What's more convincing than official government backing? The hype for this is going through the roof. A smirk crept onto my face. Calling it an anti-gang promo video just meant slapping a few thought-provoking lines at the end. The original movie basically didn't need any edits. That's just common sense in the film industry. We just put up a warning in the theaters saying children under 14 require parental supervision, and we'd be totally fine. Action-packed gang movies aren't meant for little kids anyway, so it wouldn't hurt the box office much. That very night after wrapping up the shoot, Liu Gang took his men and tracked down Zhang Wensai. The guy was so terrified he nearly pissed his pants. But when he found out we just wanted him to act, he was completely dumbfounded. He had never seen a move like this in his entire life. I have to admit, Shu Damo works incredibly fast. In less than 3 days, he already gave me a call back. It's a done deal. The higher-ups absolutely loved your proposal. They said it brings a ton of positive energy. And if the shoot goes well, they'll ramp up the promotions for it. It would be best if you can start shooting as soon as possible. I thought about it for a second, then replied, we can start shooting the day after tomorrow. As for the actors, Uncle Mo, you can just pick some guys from your station. And if you're short on hands, we'll provide the rest. Shu Damao was surprised by how fast I worked. He immediately agreed to send over a few guys from the station to help with the shoot. We hammered out the shooting details in no time. After all, the shoot for Young and Dangerous couldn't be delayed. And the anti-gang promo couldn't drag on either, or the campaign would lose its punch. 2 weeks flew by, and surprisingly, both the movie and the promo wrapped up at the exact same time. I don't even need to hype up my film, Young and Dangerous. The quality is absolutely top-notch. And Shu Damao's anti-gang promo? That turned out completely brilliant, too. Real cops, combined with Zhang Wensai and his crew of thugs just playing themselves. The scenes felt incredibly raw and authentic. Especially the part where Zhang Wensai gets busted. He cried his absolute eyes out. Honestly, I started to wonder if he was having flashbacks to his own past. As for Zhang Pucheng framing us, he made a public apology and cleared our names just like we demanded. But the impact was pretty limited. After all, the internet is always full of trolls who just want to hate. Making up a rumor takes 1 second, but clearing your name takes a lifetime. Still, I wasn't worried in the slightest. With the police doing a joint promo, the movie will have an official stamp of approval when it hits theaters. Who would dare question our company's integrity then? Now that the movie wrapped up, the first thing on the agenda was to let loose and relax. The boys aren't professional actors, so they were under a massive amount of pressure during the shoot. We finally made it to the wrap, so we definitely needed to grab some serious drinks and blow off some steam. The day before, I went ahead and booked the most famous restaurant in the entire city, Tianxi Mansion. I heard that when a lot of big companies host foreign executives, they always choose this place. Looking at the prices on the menu, yeah, it definitely wasn't cheap. But when I thought about how hard the boys worked over these past few weeks,